Just before 2 p.m. today, the police department received a call for a suspicious vehicle in the unit block of Linwen Way, that's Linwen Way, in 21236 area, for a suspicious vehicle. Our officer was responding to that call. She encountered the suspects and she was critically injured. Our officer was transported to the Franklin Square Hospital, where she was pronounced deceased at 2:50 p.m. This officer would have been a 4-year veteran of the police department. Her anniversary date was in July of this year, and she was assigned to the Parkville precinct. Right now, we're continuing our investigation. Our officers have determined, detectives have determined, that there was a house on Linwen that has some damage to it, to a patio door. It does appear that this may have been a burglary in progress. We're not sure if this was the exact house that the call came from, but it was on the same block, and we're continuing to investigate at this point. We are actively searching for possibly at least one suspect right now. We continue to search the area. As a result of this, there are 3 elementary schools on alert status right now. No one is allowed to come into the school, or no one is allowed to leave the school. Those schools are Perry Hall Elementary, Seven Oaks Elementary, and Gunpowder Elementary. We're asking parents to understand the situation, not to go to the school. Please call the school, speak to the school administrators, and they are actively trying to make arrangements to get the children safely out of the area and to reunite with the parents. We will give updates as soon as we know the school information and where parents can go pick up their children or what arrangements are being made. We're going to continue to speak with school officials and get that information out as soon as possible.
Sean, there's some confusion now about the nature of the injuries that this officer suffered. Is there indication she was shot and then run over?
Right now, we don't know for sure. We're going to continue to look into it. We probably won't know until an autopsy has been completed by the medical examiner's office. And also, we don't want to confirm anything right now because of the active investigation. If there is information that suspects would be aware of that isn't shared publicly, we'd want to be able to verify that information from the suspects. So there's a lot of details right now that we don't want to confirm, that we don't want to release, but right now we just don't know.
Is it the belief
about this officer, family members, anything at all?
Well, right now we don't. For the first initial time, we don't release information about the police officer. Family has been notified. Families here at the hospital. She would have been a 4-year veteran this July. She was doing her job today, responding to a call, encountered these suspects, and was critically injured from this altercation. And we're going to try to determine what exactly happened, how our officer lost her life.
Did she call for armed suspects? Did she make any contact with the police department before?
There was a subsequent call for an officer down. These are all things that we're continuing to look into to see what happened.
Is it your belief that the suspects you were looking for, there are as many as 4, am I correct?
I'm not sure the number of suspects. There is multiple suspects. Right now, we are actively searching for at least one possibly armed suspect.
And is it your belief they are armed? At least one may be armed?
The possibility that they're armed. Like I said, we're not confirming injuries right now. We're not sure what exactly happened. This is a very fluid situation at this point that we're talking to witnesses, and we're trying to find out what happened.
Was there anyone home at the house that suffered the damage to the door?
I'm not sure if there was anybody home. There are officers in the area. We were receiving a lot of information. Different suspects or people were giving us information of people that they believed was armed. Some of the neighbors were coming out, interacting with our officers. So we were getting a lot of inconsistent information. So this is things that we're going to be working on for quite some time to try to determine who's responsible for this and what happened.
Is Chief Sheridan here?
Chief Sheridan is at the hospital, yes.
Is he waiting to meet family, or do we know?
I'm not sure. The chief, as every officer in this police department right now, is here to help, here to see who's responsible for this and determine who's responsible for killing our officer.
Do you know if she fired her weapon?
The officer died of a gunshot wound.
We cannot confirm how she died. She did suffer significant injuries. These injuries were critical, and she was pronounced deceased here at the hospital.
Do you know whether she fired her service weapon?
These are any things we're going to look into. I can't confirm right now. I'm not sure. I haven't spoke to the homicide detectives whether she fired her weapon or not.
Precisely where was that black Jeep recovered?
I don't know anything about a black Jeep.
Okay. Huh. I'm sorry, wasn't there a Jeep recovered?
I'd have to check with our homicide detectives. I'd have to follow up.
Okay.
I spoke to them about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We are actively following up several leads. We've been receiving several 911 calls. We're looking into a lot of things. We were receiving a lot of misinformation, but want to be able to confirm those facts for you, so I'll follow up with you.
Sean, let's go back to the beginning. What can you confirm happened today?
So what we can confirm is that we received a call just before 2 p.m. for a suspicious vehicle. Our officer responded to this call, and she encountered at least one suspect and was critically injured in this altercation with these suspects. What exactly happened, we're not sure yet. We may not find out until an actual autopsy is performed. Subsequent assisting officers did respond to the area. This officer immediately received treatment. She was transported here to Franklin Square Hospital, where she was pronounced deceased at 2:50
Did she
p.m.
have any other officers with her at the time?
I'm not sure if there were any officers with her at the time. Routinely, we are in our patrol cars alone, single, but it could have been a situation where if the officer's on field training or something like that, but routinely we're in our cars by ourselves.
And when you say the other officers responded to a call for an officer down, that was being reported by her or by other people
We
in
were
the
receiving calls from people in the
In the
area,
neighborhood.
Giving us information.
Can you confirm that she was shot?
No, we cannot confirm her injuries right now. We probably won't know for sure until an autopsy is performed. And there's also information that we want to be able to actively investigate with. When we determine who these suspects are, we want to be able to interview them and verify the information that they may be aware of, or any other witnesses. We think it's crucial to assist in a prosecution of this case, and we don't want to hamper that prosecution in our subsequent investigation.
And can you describe the nature and the extent of the search in that very residential area at this hour?
Well, so since 2 o'clock, we have been in the area of Bel Air Road, pretty much from Ebenezer Road down to Forge Road in that area. We received several calls for people that believe were suspects. We've been following up on several leads right now. Different jurisdictions, federal agencies, several state agencies has come in to assist. Anytime in this situation, as much help that we can get is critical.
Do you have any description of the suspects?
Not right now. So it's such a fluid situation that we're receiving information from different sources. So there's nothing that we can confirm right now, but obviously for the safety of the public, we want to get out information as soon as we can.
And what advice can you give to people that live in that surrounding area?
Right now, we are asking neighbors in that area just to stay home. If they see something, call 911. If you have children that go to these 3 elementary schools, please call the school. School officials are actively trying to make arrangements to get the children safely out of the area and home to their parents.
Message to the officers on the department right now who are confused, wondering what's going on.
There are several officers here at the hospital. They were friends with her, co-workers with her. They're dealing with that right now. There are several officers that are responding to this to the scene. There was a lot of us out there on the scene. You're getting information. We were about to make a media staging area at a location where we got information that a suspect was there. We step in and do what we need to do. Okay.
Will there be the next briefing with the additional detail?
Once I get additional information, I'll let you know. I'll try to give you like about a half an hour heads up when I'll have more information. I'm not sure what we have at this point, and I want to follow up with our detectives to see if we have anybody in custody yet.